40 days of temptations and the 41st day. According to the Bible, during the flood, rain fell for 40 days. But when the 41st day came, the rain stopped, just as God had said. Moses killed an Egyptian who was mistreating the slaves, and then lived in exile for 40 years. But the 41st year came, and God sent Moses to free the slaves through him, just as God had planned, not as Moses had attempted. God called Moses to the top of Mount Sinai, where he was without bread and water for 40 days, while the people worshipped a golden calf. The 41st day came, and Moses came down from Sinai with the 10 Commandments written by the finger of God. The Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years because of their disobedience to God. But in the 41st year, their descendants entered the promised land, just as God had promised. The Philistine giant Goliath taunted God and God's people for 40 days. But on the 41st day, God sent David to kill the giant Goliath. God sent a prophet Jonah to preach to the wicked Nineveh for 40 days about their destruction because of their wickedness. And on the 41st day, God forgave them because they repented, just as he had said. Jesus fasted for 40 days in the wilderness and was tempted by Satan. But on the 41st day, Satan departed weak and defeated. After his resurrection, Jesus appeared to his apostles for 40 days. And on the 41st day, he ascended into heaven, just as he had said. What can we learn from all this? The number 40 is the number of temptations in the Bible. But we should know that the 41st day of victory over temptation is coming. If you endure temptations with prayer to God as Jesus and the rest of God's people endured, the 41st day and the 41st year will come, symbolically showing that destruction and trouble will cease, that God will defeat the giants who attack us. If we sincerely repent like the Ninevites for 40 days, the 41st day will come when God will free us from the slavery of evil, when he will bring us into the promised land, just as he promised through all these types described in the Bible. Every victory over temptation is provided to us by God's grace on the 41st day or year. Because Jesus overcame all temptations not just for 40 days, but for his entire life. Because he was resurrected just as he said. And because he ascended to heaven to intercede for people, whatever temptations you have, God has promised that the 41st day will come when he will free you from temptation.